Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. Welcome to episode 54. No, excuse me, 53. I'm already jumping ship.
Unbelievable. Don't
uh,
jump ship.
I'm already, I'm already skipping this podcast. Unbelievable. But welcome to the Eagle Eye Podcast. It is episode 53. We got so much to talk about from the first game because we do open up this week against Atlas to everything, everything going on in the transfer market in regards to the team. And of course, a couple of things here at the Eagle Eye Podcast that we want to mention as well. But before I go any further into this discussion, as always, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Christian Rosendo. Christian, how are we?
Doing good, man. Very excited for the upcoming season and a lot of these transfer rumors that are going around surrounding our club. They have been very interesting, and it should be a good time tonight.
We're gonna address those. This is the first thing we're gonna jump into. But first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. No Cowboy Dan in today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Just like last year, it looks like he's cashed in his vacation time already.
Yeah,
For those of you wondering where Mr. Cowboy Dan is right now, he is in Las Vegas. Something about vacation slash spiritual retreat. I don't know, but I mean, he's gonna go try to find himself in the machine slots. We wish him the best of luck. Just Dylan, please do not gamble all of the podcast's money away. We barely have
yeah,
any as it is. For you to lose it would be detrimental to us. But
yes.
shout out to Dylan, who is still. Can you believe it? Still celebrating his birthday.
There you go. That's gonna be me
I,
this year,
I mean, you turn 21 and it looks like the world is your oyster, apparently. But you
apparently.
know what? Shout out to Mr. Cowboy Dan. If you guys see him down at the Las Vegas Strip, make sure you guys take a picture with him. Tell him to sign your cowboy hat. And if not, tell him to sign your America jersey. Shout out to you, our good friend, Mr. Cowboy Dan. So, Christian, let's jump into it. So much to talk about. Obviously, we're excited because America's finally going to be playing again. It's just felt like this really long vacation at this
hmm
point.
Even though it's
And
only been like 2 to 3 weeks.
it's been 2 to 3 weeks, but it's felt
Yeah.
like 7 to 8 years. Uh,
Definitely.
but it's gonna be phenomenal to finally have the team back. Of course, there was some Liga MX action, but really, does it even count because the boys weren't even on the schedule?
The league starts this Friday. Officially starts this Friday. For anyone that doesn't
Now,
know.
a lot of people, and we're very happy to see all of you guys come down to the group chat. Mr. Emperor Palpatine, Kevin Perez, Chris 45, my good friend Mr. Chicken Biscuit. Everyone, of course, wants to talk about the Atlas game. We will talk about the Atlas game. We will preview it to a T. Because even though some people might say easy win, me and Christian were just discussing about this before the podcast went up live. It doesn't look like it's going to be as easy of a game as recent encounters between Atlas.
Yeah, no, definitely. Atlas had a very good transfer window in this winter market, and they brought in some key players. We'll talk about it more later, but this won't be a walk in the park.
It definitely won't be. But before we do that, let's address everything that's been going on in the transfer market rumor mill that has been surrounding Coapa itself. So, of course, the big news following everywhere from Univision Deportes to Televisa to Azteca to every single news outlet in the world, well, maybe not in the world, but in Mexico at least, has almost 99% confirmed that Nico Castillo will be an America player no later than, I would say, by the end of the week, it looks like.
Definitely, yeah. Even reports saying that tomorrow it could be announced. Don't want to jump ahead just in case anything happens. But at this point, every major news outlet is reporting that Nico Castillo will be an Águila.
Now that's interesting. That is very interesting. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of discussion here, Christian, because I want to know from you personally, and I want to know from everyone here in the live chat as well. Do you guys settle with Nico Castillo? Do you think this is the right move? Is he the right man for the team? Is he the right purchase? Because I'm hearing somewhere between $15 million for Nico Castillo's services, which is no easy, no not a cheap player
Mhm.
whatsoever, by any means necessary. But Nico Castillo, 15 million. You've seen what he's been able to do with Pumas here in the Liga MX. He comes to America potentially. How do you guys feel? How do you feel, Christian, about this signing if it does go through?
Well, like you said, just touched on the little price that you mentioned, the 15,000. For me, I think America is finally, realizing that, okay, you know what? If we want a proven striker, a lethal one, this is the money we're gonna have to spend. And I'm happy that, our directiva, it took a while, but finally said, okay, you know what? If we're gonna want to contest for the bicampeonato, we're gonna have to bring in a lethal guy. Nico Castillo's proven. Let's give Benfica the money that they want. So I'm happy about that. That they took a little bit of money out of their wallet to get this guy on our team. In terms of Nico as a player, I just said it myself. He's lethal. He's the number 9. He's the killer that we've been looking for. Roger Martinez, I think, was a little bit underwhelming this season, but showed flashes here and there. But Nico Castillo, like you said, with Pumas, he was great for them. Showed up at any given moment. Very important for them. Scored a lot of goals for them, and that's kind of what we needed after last season.
Now, this is something to stir the pot a little bit and maybe, get the hype train going even more. Now, you saw what Nico Castillo did with that Puma side. Now, I'm not trying to stir anything or say anything bad about Pumas, but think back to that Pumas team that Nico Castillo had. Now think to this America side that he's going to be coming into. Now, a lot of people would argue that this America team is much, much better in regards to that Pumas team that he was with. So he's going to have a lot more, a lot more talent around him, a lot more great players, a lot more services. Do you think this even, boosts the hype around him that he could be this lethal number 9 because we have so much good creativity in the midfield when these players want to show up? That now you stick in Nico Castillo in the mix, and it just sounds like it's going to be a guarantee, good signing.
Yeah, man, and that's what we hope for. Like you said, no, this is. I mean, I don't really care to be honest. It's Pumas. Pumas didn't really have the talent to feed Nico the balls all often. You often saw Nico how to go back a little bit, get the ball, create the play himself, and they kind of finish it himself. And I guess that's where Pumas lacked a little bit in their offense. Yes, they made it to Liga, but Nico kind of carried them. Now Nico has a stellar midfield, and and just looking at maybe the predicted lineup for America next season, if you throw Nico in there, if you throw Linus in there, if you throw Menes in there, Uribe, Guido, all these players, it's just a recipe for success, in my opinion.
It really does look like it's turning out to be a really good squad if the signing goes through. Now, of course, this is all hypothetical until the club officially announces him. Then we are 100% gonna be up in arms about it in good or bad ways. Now let's talk a little bit about the negative here. Now, a lot of people have criticized Nico Castillo because one, we know what his attitude is like. Someone who maybe resembles a little bit of Ruben Sambuesa's attitude. Will there be kind of call for concerns there in regards to whether if he can behave or not?
It's funny because I've always thought that when a big player joins a team that is, I guess not to say well known, I guess he's gonna have that diva attitude. That, okay, I'm the superstar of this team. I can do whatever I want. I control everyone kind of mentality. And I think that's what Nico did, and that's what Nico, showed in Pumas. I think he knows what team he's going to. America is not Pumas. We are the biggest team in Mexico, biggest team in this side of the hemisphere. He knows what he's getting himself into, and I think he's going to tone it down a little bit. But I don't think that his attitude will be a problem for us.
Nice, interesting. Now, a good friend, Mr. Chicken Biscuit, did say that hope he stays fit. If that's the case, he's always been he has been a player that has been prone to injuries here and there in his career. We saw it in Pumas. We saw a little bit of it, throughout his career. That kind of worries you because you look at some of our players, and yes, as good as our offense is, they are prone to getting injured, which kind of leads you to think, well, maybe this isn't the best signing in regards to keeping everyone fit. But right. I mean, if he can produce, and then if he can stay fit, I mean, do we have any questions in that department?
I mean, I don't think so. The season that I think everyone's talking about is the Apertura, when he played in Pumas. Apertura, I think was in 17. Was it 17, if I'm not mistaken? He missed a handful of games, but he still managed to score 5 goals. And I think our strikers this year scored 5 goals as well. So that means the top one, Oribe Peralta, I'm pretty sure he scored 5 goals only. So you have a Nico Castillo who can miss 5-6 games, but scores the same amount of goals. Now imagine what he can do when he plays 10, 11, 12 games even. You never
It's
know.
gonna be
So
phenomenal.
that's what I'm saying. So I think this is people saying 50-50. I think I like my chances with this guy.
Okay, so we're putting so right now we're emulating Mr. Cowboy Dan in Vegas. We're putting all our chips on the table, and we're saying, you know what?
There you go.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice. We're feeling lucky tonight.
Yes, we are feeling very lucky tonight.
Now, I will say this, and I want to address something real quickly because I think it's hilarious that we have our good friend Mr. Chicken Biscuit on the chat, and now we
Sure.
have someone new that I haven't seen. His name is Chicken Little.
Oh, beautiful. I think they're brothers.
Could
Or
they
maybe
be long lost brothers?
could be, or maybe it's Chicken Biscuit, and then on his laptop he has another username named Chicken Little, and
No, I don't think he would do that.
no,
But I will
I
say
was
this
just
though:
joking.
which one came first, Chicken Little or Chicken Biscuit?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Interesting.
Let us know in the chat down below. But I will throw my 2 cents in here in regards to Nico Castillo. Now, I believe that he's a really good player. He's talented, like you said, lethal. I am quite a bit concerned in regards to, you know, quote unquote the diva side of things. But at the same time, I am kind of a little bit more calm because is one thing that we've always said highly about Piojo is the fact that he is a great you know, personal manager. He knows how to connect with his players. He knows how to keep them in check. He knows how to keep them in line. He knows how to get the best out of them, which I think is phenomenal with that. You know.
I think we thought we kind of had the same thing with Menez when he first joined. You know, Menez being that kind of superstar name coming from Europe, you know, going to America. You know, he thinks, oh, it's a Mexican team. What's gonna happen? But I think when he got here, you know, he realized, you know, what team he's playing for, toned it down a little bit with the help of Miguel Herrera, like you said, and you know, I think everything's fine now with Menez. There's no divaness there anymore like there was before in the past. So I think you hit the nail on that one. I think Herrera will kind of, you know, level Nico a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there was other names thrown around in the ring in regards to who might we get, but I think Nico was always kind of the biggest name out there.
I guess priority.
I mean, I heard Baca.
I heard Baca too. I heard Falcao as well. But you know, those are names that'll ring every single transfer window. And you know, at this point,
you knew about 80% of those were going to be smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
it wasn't really anything concrete. It was just newspapers trying to sell newspapers. It's simple as that. The top
two were
websites trying to get clicks. It's as simple as that. Now,
definitely.
You know, this Castillo thing gain traction because I think we had said that our best options in regards to who we thought was realistic was either Mauro Boselli or Ruben Funes Mori, correct?
Yes.
And now if you throw in Nico Castillo in the mix, I would argue that he could potentially be better than either of those two players on his best night.
His best night, yes, definitely.
Correct. Now I'm not saying Funes Mori or Boselli are you know any chumps at all, but
Chicken Nugget now has joined the party.
Now, so I think with Castillo coming along, I think it is the right move. A lot of people are kind of up in arms about it too because they feel like he might not be a good fit, but it's time will tell. Time will tell in the end. Time will tell in the end. But again, this is all speculation. We could have just talked about this for 5 minutes, and then, you know, America says, you know what, they re-signed Silvio Romero, and all of that was wasted.
I don't know about that one, but I do want to ask you a question, though, because I kind of want to pick your brain on this one. You know, usually when we have a new transfer, you know, there's this period of time that I guess the club and fans give. Okay, you know what, you have until
good.
Until Jornada 8, whatever, to, you know, dip your toes, whatever, and you'll be settled. Are we giving Nico Castillo the same exact time? You know, give him till Jornada 8, 9, 10 even to, you know, settle in and, you know, be the lethal striker that we know, or we want him swinging right off the bat?
I want to ask the Chicken Trinity in regards to this one because I think they would have a very good definition of this. But I don't want to get too much into that because I would want to leave that conversation for if he does come to America, and that would be a very good conversation to have during that podcast. But I will say this much: I will say that if he does come, he will not have the same time as Roger. His time will be cut down substantially, and I'll leave it at that. And we can get into the details and all that stuff and the specifics on it when he does get announced. And
so next week,
likely. So yeah, that will most likely probably be next week, and we can have a discussion about whether or not and exactly get a feel of what the fans think, because I think that's the most important thing is, you know, what does our community think as well in regards to how much time Nico's gonna have. And you know what, that probably be a great, you know, poll question to put up on Twitter
Oh, definitely, yeah.
to have before the podcast. But um,
We'll see about it.
we will see about it. We will see about it. But we'll leave it at that. We'll talk about one more player that has been ringing like crazy. And oh my god, what is his name? I completely forgot his name, but he does come from the same club as Cecilio Dominguez.
Jose
Looks like we
Santiago. Yeah, the last name I can't pronounce.
yeah,
I'm very
Santiago.
sorry. We're terrible. Shouldn't we know how to pronounce these names?
Yeah, it's a give or take. It's a
Okay,
give or
whatever.
take.
We'll call him Santi for short.
Right. Santi, yes, Santi for short.
There you
The
go.
Paraguayan, he's rumored to be coming to America now. The interesting thing about it is he does play left back.
Okay.
And a lot of people, our good friend Mr. Brian as well from Twitter, is kind of up in arms about this because, of course, we have. I think that left back position is one of those positions that we no longer need reinforcement, even though it was one of the positions that we needed to reinforce for quite some time. But I think if the move does happen, he might be converted into a winger, and if not, then we could possibly be seeing the end of Paul Aguilar in an America jersey over
That's what I
time.
was saying, yes, because as we do know, Jorge Sanchez is not a natural left back. He was put in that position by Herrera. So what I mean, I even think about thinking right now, if I'm guessing your brain correctly, you're
Yeah,
gonna
you are.
think if the player does not work out in the midfield, he will take over the left back position and we'll have Jorge Sanchez on the right back position.
Correct, but it's something
Yes,
about
sir.
Pio Herrera converting right backs into fullbacks, into left backs. Excuse me. I
Yeah.
remember Miguel Ayun when he came to America, he wasn't left back; he was actually a right back, and
Yeah, definitely.
got converted to a left back, and now he
Yeah.
plays, I think, every position, even goalkeeper sometimes in training. Who knows?
But just to touch on that rumor though, as they are saying in the chat, and I do have to point this out that this rumor is still very, I guess, in the baby stage. There were initial reports were that America were looking to swap Cecilio Dominguez for Santi. But there are now new reports coming from Argentina that Cecilio will be heading to Argentina for a fee around 6 million. That is I guess the latest on the whole Cecilio Dominguez drama. Because yes, Cecilia is not trying to go back to Paraguay right now at this moment. So it's a little bit undecided right now with those two players.
Look at that, the Chicken Trinity got everything on spot before you even said it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Cecilia Dominguez obviously not wanting to go back just to Paraguay just yet. Of course, this was the kind of the biggest rumor aside from the Nico Castillo one.
Yes.
So
But he's a great player though. The left back
wanted
Santi,
to.
he's a great player. I don't know if you got to check any of his highlights or anything, but he's a very promising young player, 20 years old.
I don't like YouTube highlights.
Oh, you don't use the highlights?
I feel
Okay.
like they don't tell the true story. I mean, you can put
Perfect. That's fine.
highlights of me playing in the midfield, and I suck at it. I promise you, it's just a compilation video of me
Right.
making 3 good passes, and
No,
that's
no.
probably
Yep,
it.
I agree. I agree with you. Good.
But I'll take your word for it. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully,
Sort
we
of
get a
bank
little bit something more
Libertadores.
concrete. But now to kind of just close out this whole transfer rumor talk. I want to see, and I want to ask not just you but to our listeners as well. We have a striker coming in, most likely, potentially.
Most
I think
yes.
Pio Herrera has said time and time again, a striker is for sure coming. Now that you have a striker here, with Nico Castillo alone, does that give us enough players to say, yes, we're confident that we will go and get the bicampeonato? Or do you still feel like this team lacks depth?
That's a good question. With Nico Castillo, I see everyone on Twitter saying, bicampeonato cantado. I can see why people would say that because I guess you and I will both agree that the strikers did not produce enough to where we were very confident and satisfied with our attack going forward that they were going to get the job done. Because if you do remember the latter part of the season, it was Emmanuel Aguilera and Bruno Valdez doing all the scoring for us, and they're the ones that kind of pushed us all the way to the final without our strikers even having to score a goal. Now, when Nico Castillo coming in, you have a proven killer, a proven lethal number 9 in the box that can score your goals. You don't have to heavily rely on your defense. Now your defense can just worry about defending in a sense. You have Menez coming back. You have Uribe hopefully coming back into form. You have a Diego Linus that that's still up in the arms, but we might have another 6 months. If we do, I think we have the perfect squad to contest for the bicampeonato.
I think I agree with you because I was actually thinking about this on my lunch break today at work, and I thought, well, I wanted to say that we lacked depth in the midfield,
Mm-hmm.
but then I thought about it, and I thought, well, right now with the formation we're using, we're probably not going to see Edson Alvarez start the game, which is
That's
controversial to say
it's
in the
very
fact that he won us
controversial.
the title, right? But we'll address that come later. But he could easily fill in into the midfield or into the center back position, which means we have versatility in that department, which means we have a center back and a midfielder in one player, which is
Yes,
good.
it's very good.
Though my concern is if we have Edson Alvarez as a backup center defensive mid and as a backup center back, wouldn't you think that maybe we still need a backup center back in regards to just the center mid?
Mm,
And
well,
I'm not saying that we need to go out and buy freaking, a Sergio Ramos type of center
no, no,
back.
no,
I'm
no.
just
Yeah, I
saying
know. I feel you. I don't think so. I think that we have enough with what we're getting in Edson Alvarez. I think you said it perfectly. The fact that he can cover two positions, I think that's your guy. I think that's your quote unquote backup, so to say. Now, if any given moment in the season Edson Alvarez has to step in into the midfield, and then let's just say Bruno Valdez is injured, then I guess that's where you can, you know, bite bite your foot there a little bit. You're like, wow, maybe we do need a center back. But then you remember that Luis Reyes can play center back as well, even though we don't prefer him to play center back, but he can.
you know
But
what? You just fixed my whole problem by saying that.
yeah.
You
So
literally just fixed it.
so like you have Luis Reyes there available with the surplus of left backs and right backs that we might get in the near future. So I guess it kind of works out when you have Luis Reyes in there, even though he's not my favorite player. But
Because I was gonna say this. How much trust and how much faith are we putting in Emmanuel Aguilera?
well, that's I don't know a whole lot of like as you, me, and Dylan have said, he's not our favorite defender. We would most likely like him to start with Bruno. It's not Alvarez with Bruno Valdez. That would be our ideal center back partnership to an extent. So but we know Herrera will not do that. I think we're confident that Aguilera will be starting on Friday, but that's a conversation for in a couple minutes. So yeah, for me though, personally, I'm not too keen on Aguilera being our center back starter. So yeah.
And that's going to be a conversation we're going to have later on throughout the season as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to come back time and time again, whether or not Aguilera is in form. And I mean, if he continued the run of form he had in the Liga, then by all means necessary, more than happy to take back everything that I've said about him.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's the transfer rumor mill. That's the transfer talk. A lot been going on in America, and when and if Nico Castillo gets announced, you guys will hear from us, you guys will hear from America, and you guys will hear from the rest of the world on Twitter, because of course, whenever America makes a move, it just travels around the universe like crazy. So we'll have you guys updated. We'll keep you guys posted on everything and anything. Love to see your guys' interaction on Twitter when we do post these kind of interaction, these these kind of tweets, and you guys go out and you guys just interact with us. Absolutely love it. It's exactly what we do this for. We do this for you guys, for the interaction, the support. Thank you guys so much. And before we jump into the preview against Atlas, we do want to say a quick thank you to every single one of you guys who has gone out to Twitter, who has followed us, who have liked, retweet us, every single thing. Because of you, we are now at 500 follows. Actually, we've surpassed the 500 mark. Now we are at about 546 followers on Twitter in a spam of a week. We did it. It's phenomenal. We didn't do it. I'm sorry. You guys did it. The listeners, the followers, every single one of you guys made it possible. Now, if you guys haven't done so, go on to Twitter and make sure that you guys go down and check out our giveaway. That is right. We are giving away a jersey of your choice, America's home or away. And we are going to be giving one of you a copy of FIFA 19 for the PlayStation 4, and to another one of you a copy of FIFA 19 on Xbox One. So if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys go do enter the competition. All the rules and everything will be explained. So make sure you guys go and do that right there. Christian, anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, man. Just I'm very grateful to everyone who has been replying to us on Twitter. I think this week was very successful in our goal and trying to interact with everyone. It's so nice to see that everyone's so attentive and alert to our tweets and our posts. And just thank you to everyone who replies to us and likes and retweets our tweets, because it means a lot to us. Trust me.
It really does. So you guys make it the world's best job in the world. Really, it really has been amazing to see. Now, um, before we go any further again, because I think a lot of people will have questions. Christian, you have something to explain here. A lot of people are asking,
Oh,
where is trivia?
oh man. So, guys, unfortunately, I could not get around to trivia this week, but I'll make it up to you, because on Friday is the start of the trivia on we're doing trivia on Twitter and on the podcast, so it'll be combined. But on Friday, I'll give you a question, and it'll be worth 20 plus 10. We'll make it 40 points. We'll make it
40 points, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll make it
40 points to start off your trivia question.
We'll make it 40 points to make it up for today. So I'm sorry for you guys that are tuning in, but you guys will get the 40 points on Friday. Well, if you guys answer it correctly, hopefully.
Of course.
Yes,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that, 40 points. Make sure you guys do go over there to Twitter and get things going right now. And look at that. Mr. Israel Mendez says, make that 547 followers. Thank you so much, my good sir. Thank you so much. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's talk about the season. La Clausura 2019 is upon us. Of course, we've seen the other teams go and get their start, get their feet wet. We saw, these teams trying to be a little cute, get their 3 points, get everything going. But of course, we know the reigning champions kick things off on Friday. Yep, Daddy's home, and he is going to hopefully make a statement, because looking back at this would not be nice to see if we don't. But of course, America opens up their campaign against Atlas in the Estadio Jalisco Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Central, and then of course for our good people down in the East Coast, 10 p.m. So those of you who have nothing to do on a Friday night, or hey, if you're even going to be at the club, make sure you tell them to turn it on to Univision Deportes, because of course, who doesn't want to be two-stepping it to America versus Atlas?
That's what I'm saying, man. It sounds like a perfect Friday night to me.
Extremely. Can you imagine, be like, all right, baby, you know what, we're going to go see a movie, and then, be like, all right, halfway through the film, be like, you know what, we're going to switch it up. We're just going to put the America game on the big screen.
Beautiful, huh? Popcorn and everything.
Look at that. It's a perfect way to kick off the weekend. America coming into this one with high hopes of retaining the championship that we won. Everyone's hoping to get that 14th star. I know I am. I know you are. And I know everywhere around the globe, every America fan will be tuning in on Friday to make sure that the team starts off on the right foot. Of course, going up against an Atlas side that got themselves not only 3 points against Querétaro in the opening round, but of course a good victory against Pumas in the Copa MX. So they're coming into this game with form.
Yes, sir. And people are gonna say, Querétaro's Querétaro, Pumas is not in their best form right now. But listen, guys, Atlas is here to play. They had a very bad season last season in the Apertura, made some great moves in the winter transfer window, and they look like a good squad to compete this year.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and of course, the biggest name I think that kind of jumped at me was the fact that Osvaldito Martinez is there, and a lot of people will think, well, Osvaldito Martinez, why is he the biggest name? Because I think he brings something to America, to Atlas's team that maybe some teams lack, and that's someone to be able to run your midfield, and I don't mean hold it, but I mean run it. That to kind of move the ball around, play some passes, and get the team going. Yes. In a sense, a number 10. I think he's fitting. He's doing what he's always done. With America, with Atlante, with Santos. He's getting things done. He's doing what he's meant to do. So he's gonna be a dangerous opposition to face up against.
Like he always is.
Yeah, like he's always is, and you can bet anything that you want that he's gonna try to score a free kick on us.
And don't even say that because I think he just might.
And he did. Do you remember when he first went to Santos and he
When
scored one
Santos,
in the Copa
yes,
Mekis?
yes, I remember. You don't need to remind me about that one.
So of course, Osvaldito coming into form, like our good friend Mr. Chicken Little said, he scored on his first game. So I mean, this Atlas team just looks like they're finding their rhythm.
Mm-hmm. They look
Now that's crazy to say because it's only been one game, right? But I mean,
yeah,
it's technically two at this point. So
true. And this,
it's
we're not making any excuses that this will be our first. They've had to, no excuses. We're just trying to relay the information that Atlas is a decent team. Is they're not the same team from last season. It's gonna be a good test for our boys.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly said. It's gonna be a good test, and kind of addressing what we said earlier. It's not gonna be that easy game that we all expected, and I think Atlas was never really that easy of a team, especially when we went to the Jalisco.
Oh,
And then, as everyone knows, when teams go up against America, they turn it up by 10. you
mm-hmm.
know so I'm interested to see how the boys are going to cope with this. So of course I'm excited, not only because of course America's going to be back in action, but because we get to see them against a pretty good decent side
Mm-hmm.
away, which makes things even more difficult, which makes it which really is going to be whether or not are you ready to defend your title.
Yes, definitely. And are we serious contenders for this big campeonato, or are we just talk?
I mean, it's phenomenal to think that we're finally gonna be able to try to prove to everyone what we all know deep down inside. So let's talk about this game. It's gonna be, like I mentioned, of course, already at the Stade Jalisco. Now let's talk about our team. I think we focused a little bit on Atlas already. Now let's talk about our boys. Now,
Our boys,
speculation
indeed.
that the lineup will most likely be the same lineup that won us the game against Cruz Azul in the second leg of the final. We'll talk
Mhm.
about that right now. How do you feel going into this game?
I'm confident. I really think the boys are locked in. I think they're focused. They're determined to prove to everybody that they can do it. They can win the big campeonato. Not only that, but I think they have something to prove in Copa Americas as well. But this is the first step in that process, so it should be fun on Friday.
Definitely, definitely. Now, I want to address our good friend Mr.
Here
Luis,
we
who just
go.
got here. He just literally got here to the live show and he's questioning everything that is going on in the group chat. I think he just found out the holy chicken trinity. So
Yes.
enjoy it while it lasts. Someone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a great laugh. It's a chicken takeover.
Chicken takeover. Okay, you guys getting me hungry for chicken now. I'm about to order something like chicken nuggets or something.
Phenomenal, phenomenal.
Oh wait, you guys have the case?
Of course, beautiful, beautiful.
There you go.
We should do a contest to see who is the most Americanista
Oh,
in
dude.
the chat. Not in the chat, but to everyone who follows us. We'll have to come up with something amazing to give away. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We will do a contest to see who is the most Americanista, who has the
In the
most
chat,
passion.
right?
And
In the chat.
I
Mm-hmm.
have an idea of what game we can do that for. So stay tuned. If you guys are ready for this, if you guys want to show off your America spirit, tune into the Eagle Eye podcast and tune in to our Twitter. We will have something. I have something cooked up in my mind, and we'll let you
Uh-oh.
guys know
Uh-oh.
later on in the season. But we'll make sure you guys look forward to that. That's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. All right. So we kind of went off on a tangent here with the whole, chicken trinity and all that
Chicken
stuff.
Trinity
But
was.
you know, uh, America is going into this game with a very good win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling over from 2018 going into 2019. Is that
Yes.
something we should focus on? Is that something that we need to
I
think
mean,
about, or do
we
you
can
think that's
talk
gonna be
about it.
playing on the player's head that
I hope it
they've
doesn't.
been unbeaten for?
Listen, man, it didn't even bring into my head for all this time that we've been unbeaten. I'm going through the motions. Okay, we're tying game, we win a game, we're tie, win, tie, win, tie. We haven't lost against the last loss we had was against Leon, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah.
That was a while back. So we've gone a pretty decent time without losing. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because let's say we lose, and do the players know how to cope with the loss? Will it affect them for the upcoming game? Because we have one right away on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, because we have a Copa Mekis
I
match.
will say this though. Look, when America started the season off in the Apertura against Necaxa, and it was a loss. Me and Dylan sat here and we criticized them and we said this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
But we said it could be a blessing in disguise, which it was. It woke the players up, and
Mm-hmm.
it showed that they were not ready to compete, and
Yes.
they worked their butts off in training, and they came back and they started
Yes.
doing things better.
Yes.
Slowly, but surely, they got to the point where we wanted them to be. I think at this point it's different now. I
Okay.
think you need to find that still need to have that rhythm. You had an extra week off, but it wasn't a week off to break. It was a week off to
Yeah.
continue and to try to get yourself even more ready than the other
Yes.
opposition.
Hmm.
So what I would like to see is for America to go out there and play a good game. I'm not saying dominate. I'm not saying we gotta win by 6, 7 goals. I'm not saying
No,
that, I'm just
I
saying,
mean it would be nice.
yeah, it would be phenomenal. But I just want the team to go out there, perform, give us a good
Mhm.
showing. If you win by 1 goal and if it's a scrappy goal, then I'll take it. But it's something. Work off of
Yeah,
it.
we have to work on exactly.
I don't think a loss is something that you can work off at this point, knowing that you're champions, because then the whole stereotypical campeonitis comes into play. As America is
Yeah.
gonna just have a fracaso season, all that stuff. Regardless of that as much as a player should not get that in their head. It's much better to not have it
Hmm.
be there,
Yeah, yeah.
as a distraction than for it to kind of be there and
Listen,
you're trying to
I'm
ignore it.
I'm dealing with all that with Real Madrid. I don't need to be dealing that right now with America. So I
Exactly.
yeah,
America, you're the one escape that we have right now. Both
yes,
of our
please,
European teams are.
please.
Well, my European team's picking it
Yeah,
up, but
you're just getting better. Haven't really lost recently. You're doing pretty good over there in Manchester.
we'll see how it goes. We'll
Yeah,
see how
we'll
it
see.
goes. But I think for America's perspective, go out there, perform, showcase, and really, I think look, the standard for America was here, right?
Hmm.
You're champions, so now the standard is way up
Up
here.
there, yes, sir.
And believe me, the fans are gonna hold you to it. The
Hmm.
fans are gonna hold you to it. You guys should hold yourselves to that standard as well.
Definitely,
Go out there, perform, do what you got to do, and showcase why you are the best team in Liga MX, and keep going and get a big campeonato.
yeah, exactly. And the whole league, I guess, media is looking at this America squad. All 20, 23, 24 players that we have. They're looking at us and like, okay, this is the best team in Liga MX right now. Go out there and show it to us. With all the
Yeah,
talent that we have on this team, we need to prove it.
and you know what? For anyone who may not watch the game, and then we'll see like, oh, America won by like 1 goal or a controversial goal or this and that.
Mhm.
Look, the media will turn it all around. They will flip it. They said America's scrappy. America is not ready. America's gonna have a poor blah 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 blah. The most important thing that you can take away from this game, if if America wins, loses, or draw, that's it. There's no more
Yeah.
context to it
Hmm.
until later on in the day, later on in the week. Excuse me. But the only thing that America needs to take away from this game is a result, and I think it's fair to say that a result against Atlas is a win.
Definitely a win. Must be a win.
Alrighty. So it looks like we're all in agreement with that. Now, give me your predicted lineup come Friday night.
On Friday night, sure
Yeah.
thing. In net, I will have Marchesin, right back, Paul Aguilar, Bruno Valdez, Imanol Aguilera, Jorge Sanchez, Renato Ibarra, Edson Alvarez, Guido Rodriguez, Diego Lainez, Oribe Peralta, and Henry Martin up top.
The same lineup that went out against Cruz Azul in the second leg. And that
Yes.
is the reports going around everywhere. And to be honest, that's my preferred lineup as well. And you know what
Mhm.
though, it's to say this because we have Matos Oribe out still injured,
Injury, Roger
Roger
Martinez injury.
Martinez still injured, and Jeremy Menes, who looks like latest reports are saying that by the end of the month we will see him.
The
Um,
latest report I've seen that I don't want to get anybody's hopes up and our hopes up because I think we really want to see Menez play again. Reports are saying that Menez will be match fit ready by Jornada 4. That is the latest report that I have that I've seen. Is it true or not? I have no idea, to be honest. I have to go down to Mexico and ask the medical doctors in America to get that answer.
yeah,
But though that is the latest report that I've seen.
I think it's fair to say, look, expect Jeremy Menes by the end of the Super Bowl.
Yes. Okay, I'm down. I'm okay with that.
Expect Jeremy Menes after the end of the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that. Once the Super Bowl is over, you can most likely expect Jeremy Menes to be
Now,
match fit ready.
actually, never mind. I won't ask it because it's gonna get us off into a little bit of a tangent and not related. So I'll ask that next podcast. I'll definitely. So I'm gonna
Okay.
keep this question in my mind.
All right. Write it down so you don't forget. And a sticky
Yeah.
note. Um, Okay, so then it looks like we're all in agreement that America is going to come out with that same lineup. Now let's talk tactics here. America,
Sure.
what does America need to do in order to go out there and win this game? Because of like we said, I don't think me, you, or Dylan would accept anything but a win.
No, definitely not. I think the key is to win, and I think it'll come from our wings. Believe it or not, I think that Miguel Herrera will look to Renato Ibarra and Diego Lainez, their explosiveness, to carry them down the wings, and try to create some magic on that side. On either side, I think more heavily on Renato Ibarra's side, but let's not forget Diego Lainez is playing on the other side. Let's not forget him, like we did against Cruz Azul. We put it heavy to Renato Ibarra in that first leg. We completely forgot about Diego Lainez and what he can do. Share the ball with both of them, let them do their thing, and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you in that aspect. I think the wings are going to play a very crucial role.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think a player that's going to be trying to prove something is going to be Diego Lainez.
Oh, definitely. There's so much hype and attention on him that I hope this pressure, I guess, so to say, doesn't get to him, doesn't affect his game, doesn't make him want to do more than what he has to do. Because we see Diego Lainez before in the past where he gets a little bit greedy with the ball, doesn't know when to pass, and I just don't want that performance happening right now.
Yeah, I think Diego Lainez, given the ball, let him do his thing. I think he can run mayhem on that Atlas defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Renato Ibarra, we know what he can get, we know what he can give,
Yeah.
and and we know that he is superb and he's supreme to most wingers out there in Liga MX. So two very good players. I think shutting down Osvaldito Martinez's
I think
midfield is going to be
Guido.
important.
Guido, that's another player
And
that's gonna
Guido
have
will
that
be
task.
important in that aspect because I think Guido will just hold the whole of the midfield. But I think plugging Osvaldo Martinez up right away will be an Edson Alvarez job.
Okay.
And I think he's gonna do if he can play the way he's been playing, he's gonna do a phenomenal job. I
Mm-hmm.
think Edson Alvarez is great at sometimes man marking. I think he's definitely stepped it up in this game, and he feels very comfortable in the midfield. But that's no surprise because he feels very comfortable in the center of the pitch.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. And I think like goes back to what you said at the beginning of the podcast. We have that player that feels comfortable in that center back position and in that kind of CDM position. So it's great for us to have a player like that.
Definitely. So I think to win this game, definitely our wingers, but to maintain a good rhythm and a good balance, and a good structure, I think our midfield is going to be, as always,
As
the
always.
spine to everything.
Mhm. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then here it is. Question of the night prediction. What is your prediction come Friday night?
I think America wins 3-1.
America 3-1. Interesting. Okay, I'll
3-2.
take that. I like it. I like it. I'm going with America 2, Atlas 0. I think it's important that we stay on a clean sheet form. I think if we walk away with it, it only boosts our defense even more. And it's something that we need to have is confidence down there, because we know how it goes like when America does not have that much confidence. But, going 2-0. And you're going 3-1. Our good friend
3-1.
Chicken Biscuit saying 2-1 America. Chicken Nugget saying 2-0 America.
Where's
Let's
Chicken
see what
Little?
Chicken Little has to say about this. It's the Holy Trinity here. Let's
He's
not
the same.
forget. Um, but I think it's more than fair to say that the expectation from everyone is America walking away with 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. And just to touch on, I don't know if you're gonna ask this next, but I might jump ship here. But I think I'm besides Diego Lainez and Ibarra, which I think that's gonna be the tactic to go to them for their explosiveness and their creativity. I'm really looking at Oribe Peralta and Henry Martin to see what they can do at the start of the season, see if they can get a couple goals in the first game.
That's interesting that you bring that up because of course these are two players that you feel like that are on their way to the bench, and not just to the
Yes.
bench, but to the just kind of to game forgotten zone.
Oh, definitely.
Especially Henry Martin.
Especially Henry Martin, I wouldn't say that because Oribe will get time here and there. But Henry Martin seems like the one that we're gonna get that end of the bench loser, like kid that we don't really talk to. That's gonna be
Definitely.
him, yeah. Especially if Nico Castillo does come, and like there's just with what he showed us last season, with Nico coming in, Roger coming back. Herrera obviously will prefer to have Roger in there. Oribe gonna get some minutes here and there. You kind of really don't see a spot for Henry in this team unless an injury does occur, obviously. But other than that, it's gonna be very hard for Henry to 5 minutes in league. So I think in Copa Americas, I think he'll get a few minutes here and there.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see. We'll see. But
We'll see.
that's a good point you make. I am looking at them. Hopefully, they do give us something to shout about and put a little bit of pressure on Pio Herrera. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's the best case scenario America can have is
Oh
what
yeah,
player am I going to stick up top because they're all
that's
in
what I'm saying.
form.
Exactly. If you can have all five in form, whatever. That's a terrible situation to be Herrera, but a terribly good, I guess, situation because you can stick two up there.
Definitely.
Okay, these guys will get us a couple goals, no problem. End of the night. So we'll see what happens though.
And like like the old saying goes, internal competition is the best
Oh,
competition.
definitely, yeah, and I think they know that, and it should be good for them. It sparked a thing in the wingers last season. Okay, we have a Diego Linus that's sparking up some flair here and there. Nothing about it doing his thing. This was good for Ibargo and Ceci, to kind of amp it up a little bit when they were given the chance.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Alrighty then. Well, looks like we're all in agreement. America should walk away with the 3 points. So don't forget, you can watch that game live on Univision Deportes. That is going to be again live Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 8 Mountain time. We haven't mentioned them in quite some time. 9 Central time, and of course 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys get yourselves ready. Nothing like a good bit of chicken wings,
Can I have some breaking news?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I did this. I'm sorry, Ivan. I should never done this before, but I logged onto Twitter because I had a message, and I am seeing reports that PSV has offered 6 million euros to Club America for Edson Alvarez.
Interesting. I'm seeing this right now as well. Looks like our good friends.
Interesting.
Looks like our good friends at La Resaca Americanista.
That's where I first saw it, but now I'm seeing other reports as well, and I will tweet them at you right now.
Tweet them out. Tweet them out on the podcast so people can see that. A lot of people are calling fake. A lot of people are saying nothing, but we'll let you guys know. Of course, Edson leaving would be a big blow to the team.
Now we were just saying that how Edson is that double player, that CDM center back kind of player. You lose Edson Alvarez. Now, do you go out to the market and maybe kind of buy a center back, or do you buy a center mid?
You buy Diego Reyes,
or do you trust the cantera to pick it up?
Yes and no, but I mean, I would buy Diego Reyes. He does essentially the same thing. But
that's what I was saying. But I'm guessing his agent doesn't really want him back in the Americas yet. I think they still feel they have something to prove in Europe. I thought that Diego Reyes was gonna come back, especially that little time that he had here in Mexico. Kind of flirting with us and going to training with us and all that stuff. I thought he was gonna come back, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, we'll see how the story develops, and we'll see whether or not this is actually gonna come true or not. But Edson leaving, what could we say? What could we say?
Yeah.
6 million seems like a little though. Too little.
It does. It does seem like a little too little.
I think Edson goes for at least 8. At least 8.
At least 8, yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, the kid scored 2 goals to win you a title. You're not gonna ship him off only on 6.
That's what I'm saying. At least 6.1. At least. No, I'm just playing. No, I think 8. I think 8's a good price tag.
8's a good, decent price tag. Look, if you can get 10 for the kid, get it. But 8's 8. I can deal with.
Yes, definitely.
We'd be terrible at negotiating. We'll see.
Maybe that's why you're not in charge of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Dylan comes back from Vegas with like $250 million, and
maybe
he can buy us our own Edson Alvarez.
When he told me to put all of it on 22, I think I should have told him to put it all on 22, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see on that. We'll definitely see on that. But I think we've run out of all the things we were going to talk about here.
Yes, sir.
Actually, no, I lied. And you're going to have to help me out on this one, Christian. But
go for it.
We still got to talk Lady Águilas.
Lady Águilas.
Unbelievable that we've forgotten about this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the ladies have still yet to play, correct?
They They have not played. Yes.
When is their first game? Let me see. First game is against Toluca.
Oh, that should be a good one.
Saturday on the 12th,
The
which is
12th.
an early game too. They're playing at noon,
At noon.
Mexico time.
Well, they do. The Liga MX Femenil does have a lot of weird times and weird days that they play.
No, yeah, that's true. That is so true. Now the girls got a bye week as well. Let's not forget.
Okay.
So they're living it up just like the men are. But the ladies do kick things off on the 12th, which is this Saturday. So it's gonna be interesting to see. The men play on Friday, then the ladies playing on Saturday. That's gonna be a fun weekend for all us Americanistas. So make sure you guys do on Saturday on the 12th. First thing you do when you wake up after you had a crazy night at the club, two-stepping into America, winning against Atlas, and you got home late, like about 3 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, and the first thing you do is you're gonna go out and you're gonna tweet out #Lady Aguilas. As always, the ladies need to know that we're in there, in with them. All our support is with them, and let's hope that they can get their first 3 points, which is gonna be phenomenal in.
Exactly. And let's not forget that they are the defending champs as well.
So I mean, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Ivan, do you want to explain the oil money thing? Because that was kind of your thing.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm just saying. Look, America can
guys,
do.
Hear us out. Hear us out here.
Look, you get someone who has any billionaire that's got oil, and it's just money after money after money moves that we can make. So think about it. Think of what PSG was without the oil money. Think about what Man City is now with the oil money. Think about what America can do with oil money.
Think about it. Think about it. I don't know, man. Just think about it. We have Kylian Mbappe joining America.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or not even, he could just be like, the receptionist at this point with oil money.
If you have oil money, right? Yeah.
You just pay him so much money just to pick up the phone and be like, "Hello, this is Club America. How may I help you?" I mean, it's crazy stuff to think about it. If America was to get this kind of oil money, because then you kind of can break the Mexican market and then kind of go and do all these crazy things, all these crazy signings. Of course, I'm not saying that with the oil money we're gonna be able to sign like a Ronaldo, but I mean, we could definitely sign
let's give a
Cavani.
Cavani, maybe Dimitri Payet, maybe Alexandro Pato that's playing in China right now.
Yeah, I would say so. But that's for a different conversation. We'll have that oil conversation later on in the season when we deem it right. But it would be interesting to see America have a little bit more money. Emilio Escarga and to the Escarga family who have maintained this America team. Thank you. But if someone offers you $2 billion for the club, I take it.
That's what I'm saying. Take it.
Just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, good luck to our Lady Aguilas who play this Saturday. We'll keep you guys updated on that as well. We'll try to get somehow a live link to that if we can. If we can't,
listen, guys,
we're sorry.
We're trying everything in our power right now to get more lady coverage. It's very difficult for us, but we're trying our best, and hopefully.
But we are excited. We are definitely excited.
We're gonna be there on the journey with them, like the men.
Definitely. So make sure you guys do go #Lady Aguilas out there. And I guess that's all we have to say. Thank you for joining us. It's been episode 53 of the Eagle Eye Podcast. Remember, America plays against Atlas on Friday. Make sure you guys go out there and get yourselves, a nice seating view of the game. It's going to be a good one. We expect it to be, very fast paced, very high tempo. Even though it's going to be the first game for our boys, I think they're going to be up for it. And all we can do is hope and see what's going to happen with the Nico Castillo transfer rumor. Whether or not it gets announced tomorrow, we'll have to wait and see, but make sure you guys keep it with us as we'll have you updated with every single news in regards to that. And don't forget, Friday we got trivia also. 40 points on the line. Don't forget, boys. 40 points. That's phenomenal. And nothing more else to say, but thank you so much to all of you guys and your support. Amazing. 547 followers in a short time frame. That we're getting closer to 600. We're
600 giveaway. Here we go.
600 giveaway with
do we want to announce when we're announcing the winner?
Yes, that is right. We will announce the Twitter live on the podcast through Twitter. So don't worry if you guys are not gonna be here and you guys can't make it, it's okay. Don't worry. We will announce your name on here on the podcast, and then we will tweet it out as soon as
Next
we
week.
do.
Next week.
Next week on the podcast, you guys have another week to get your kind of, throw your name into the hat, and hopefully you could be one of those lucky winners to walk away with a jersey of your choice and a copy of FIFA 19 on your preferred console. So don't forget, keep it with us here. Your Eagle Eye Podcast boys are signing out. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world to us, and we love doing this. We love being able to, talk to you guys every week. And America's back, baby. America's back.
America's
Let's
back.
get these
The
3 points.
champions
Let's
are
get
back.
it in the bag. And with that said, Christian, as always, thank you so much for coming out and being a great co-host.
Thank you, man, for having me on. This is my favorite time of the week, like you know it.
And mine as well. Mine as well. So with that, we bid you guys farewell. Have a beautiful evening. Have a beautiful night. Have a great week. We'll see you guys come Friday for all your live updates on America. And of course, anytime sooner if we get any news on regards to Nico Castillo. We'll see you guys. And as always, Arriba la America and up with the Holy Trinity that is the Chicken Trinity. Good night.
Bye, guys.